Hey everybody, Psychosaurus is here. Welcome back to Age of Empires Online. Or rather, we got some news from Age of Empires Online. There was a patch. And I will say there's one change that I might be talking about for a little bit. Because I would say I don't like it as much. But it happened. And then there are a few changes, but those would be pretty fast. So let's get into it. And it's gonna be straight up the first change. So, balance changes. Egyptian Elephant Archer now costs 4 population baseline, hit points reduced to 560 from 700, DPS reduced to 40 from 50, movement speed increased to 6.5 from 6, training time reduced to 22 seconds from 25, food cost changed to wood, 225 food, 150 gold to 225 wood, 150 gold. Egyptian Elephant Archer Champion now grants plus 25% health, plus 25% damage, and 10% movement speed. No longer grants -1 population. So, as you can see, a lot of changes to Elephant Archer, but in short, it's not really that huge. The main thing that you need to focus on, well, let's take a look at the champion and these changes. So the 4 population, the health and damage reduction, if you put this all together, you will get the old Elephant Archer as before. So yeah, if you go 25% health to this, you'll get to 700. So basically the change to the champion upgrade overall and the population and stats here is that basically you get the 1 population off early, but then you also get less stats with that. But once you get the champion upgrade, you will have the same stats as before, as well as with the population. So basically it's just like this switcheroo of stats and pop cost, and basically no real big change in PvE except, hey, your elephants just cost less population and are weaker before champion upgrade. After that, it's pretty much the same. The main thing here is extra movement speed, which is definitely nice, going to 6.5 and then 10% from the champion upgrade. So that means those elephants will have a little over 7%. Oh, sorry, 7%. 7 movement speed. Not bad, not bad. Training time going down. I think that's okay. I mean, it's still like an elephant, so it's a big unit, but 3 seconds, I don't think it's gonna really hurt it that much, whether it's gonna be faster or slower. I think it's fine. It's definitely gonna help with the spam a little bit, especially early once you have the population. Lower costs early, so you can get some number of elephant archers early. So I think it makes sense a little bit. But the main thing here I'm going to complain about is the food cost changed to wood. As you can see, all food going to wood. For the elephant archers, this was the most unique thing about, since they are ranged unit. Any other ranged unit you'll find, maybe exception of the Scythian Mounted Archer, which is advisor unit, but let's exclude that. This is the only ranged unit that would cost food. And to be honest, I always was like skeptical about Elephant Archers, how to use them, because I never really felt like they're good as a backline for your front line, because a lot of their damage output feels wasted because they tend to miss a lot. And also, you cannot really look at the Elephant Archer as your typical ranged unit, because if we take a look at any other ranged unit, and hopefully I'm not really missing anything, but I think I'm correct about this, Elephant Archer is the only ranged unit that is not hitting the target directly. It is hitting the ground. You know how arrow ships, you can avoid their projectiles, or the fortresses, you can dodge those arrows. Elephant Archers work the same way with their projectiles, which is why they tend to miss a lot of DPS output as well. Sure, there were some changes to the track rate to hopefully help that, but I still feel like it was not good enough to actually make them, to help them, because if you hit an enemy unit from a distance and it suddenly changes the direction it's going, hey, wasted damage potential. But enough about that. So, reasons why I don't really like this. Number 1, it's an elephant. It's a huge beast. It needs to eat a lot. Nah, I'm just kidding. But it would be a good reason, to be honest, as well. But yeah, So basically, the main argument here is that it's a ranged unit. It's a ranged unit. It should cost wood just like any other unit. Now, to a certain degree, I would agree with it, but in case of Elephant Archer, I don't think this is correct change to make. And for this, I need to show you the tech tree. This is from the champion mode, okay? So it's not really gonna be the same, but yeah, it's gonna serve its purpose. So if we take a look, we have Elephant Archer. Now it costs wood, and ignore the costs here because this is from the champion mode. So for Elephant Archer, we are talking about the golden age. So we are looking for a backline for our front line, for example. What could be used as a front line? Maybe infantry, so axemen, spearmen. Someone might tend to use war elephants with some backline, but I don't think it's really worth it. I think it's better just use the infantry since it costs a lot less population and they can soak a lot of damage with their Sobek advisor. So we are looking for a backline. So in H4, what are our options? Really good options, because slingers, we are not going to use them. They don't have good enough damage. So we would take a look at something like Chariot Archer, we would take a look at the Elephant Archer, and then Catapults. And if you watched me, I usually tend to go with Catapults, which makes sense, as I will explain it to you. So yes, let's take a look. So when would you choose to go with Chariots or Elephant or Catapults? So usually I tend to go with Catapults. Why? They do crush damage, which is a huge boost, and they have pretty good damage, probably the best damage I can think of the ranged siege units. They have naturally good range, they do a lot of damage to buildings, so you want to demolish buildings, Catapults are really great, especially with their bonus and the fact they do crush damage. Not only that, remember, crush damage, you do not upgrade at the armor attacks, so there is no need to invest into the upgrades at the armory, and instead you can focus on upgrading your infantry frontline, which would be with their armor upgrades. For Egyptians, that's only one tech, but yeah, you can go also melee damage, but the armor is gonna be more important, and because you'll be focusing more on the catapults, you can just focus on the armor techs. Yes. So yeah, catapults will do a lot of damage. Not only that, they also have really good damage area, as you can see, number 3. That's a really good number. That's a pretty big splash area, I would say. So that would be one thing. Another thing, they are produced at the siege workshops. One siege workshop is 300 wood. You don't even need that many catapults. Usually I tend to go like 10 catapults, and it's good enough. To be honest, it's more than good enough, okay? But yeah, 10 catapults is like good amount of catapults. And so you don't really need that many siege workshop. You can build like 2 and it's more than good enough, okay? Maybe you can go even 3 and then go like, yeah, 3, 3, 3, 1 and be done with it. But you don't need that many siege workshops for producing catapults. And if you lose them, well, you don't need... Usually it's your fault that you're using them, okay? Because the front line for Egyptians, it's very easy to spam. But yeah, you don't need that many catapults. They do crush damage, do a really good job against buildings. That's really worth. Because if we go with chariots or elephant archers, they do pierce damage, and so they are not really that good against buildings as the catapults. So, and if we talk about the splash, catapults again win. So let's move on to the elephant archer. It has good range, it has somewhat good pierce damage, it has also splash, but it's not as huge as of the catapults. Plus you need to invest into the armor attacks for the pierce damage, which means a lot more research time, a lot more resources spent, and so it's a lot more expensive. Not only that, you need fortress to produce elephant archers, and if you want to produce them at a reasonable rate, you will need few more fortresses. So I would say you would need at least like 3 or maybe even 4 fortresses So that's a lot more expensive than to get into the catapults already. It's very expensive just to build those fortresses. Then you need to produce those elephant archers, of course. But as I said, they tend to miss a lot, so I would not really rely on their damage output that much. But even then, if they can hit the target, I mean, they can do good amount of damage, not gonna lie. But usually those first hits, they miss those quite a lot. Once the target is standing, yes, they do the damage, but like I said, those first shots missed. I don't think that's a good thing happening, but okay, it's happening. But then we also have the chariot archers. And sure, those have lower attack range. And I need to mention elephant archers are also faster than catapults. That's probably the only advantage I can think of, like in comparison to catapults. Okay, that's but back to the chariot archers. So chariot archers definitely have shorter range, but luckily for them, they get the movement speed to compensate for that. So they can actually reach the target faster thanks to their stable text for the movement speed. Plus they're already pretty good base speed, as we can see. It has pretty good damage. Might not be as good as of the elephant archers, but with the recent changes, nah, I'm not gonna check the unit stats. I should have done it before, but whatever. I think this is the same as in PvE. They have really good damage output, like base is pretty good. So since I think it is 33 in PvE as well, which would be 11 per pop, elephant archer is 40 now, which is 10 per pop, but obviously goes up by 2.5 thanks to the champion upgrade. So elephant archer will have slightly higher DPS output, but I would say chariot archers are, first of all, more reliable in their damage because they hit the target directly. So they are more reliable in that. Plus, you don't need to build fortress. You just build stables. And stables are definitely a lot cheaper. Like one fortress versus like 3 stables. That's a huge difference. It's definitely easier to get into the stables. Plus, you can build them a lot sooner than a fortress, right? You can build them H2 or even H3. If you delay them to H3, that's up to you. But once you get to H3, you can start producing your chariot archers ahead of time. So you definitely have them available to you sooner. And I would say the advantage of chariot archer is they are available to you sooner, so you can start producing them 1H sooner and have the army ready a lot sooner than the elephant archers. Because for elephant archers, you need to wait to the golden age, same as with the catapults. So chariot archers, obviously, you will get there ahead of time. They're faster, more reliable, and I would say you can even use camels as your front line with chariots, and they are really great to compensate each other because camels go against enemy cavalry, plus they can work well against enemy ranged, while chariot archers work really well against infantry, especially once you get the champion upgrade. So if you ask me, chariot archers seem a little bit better option, and you definitely can get them a lot sooner. While for elephant archers, you need to wait and you need to invest a lot more resources because you need the fortresses. Champion upgrade, I think it's 1200 gold in PvE, while chariots are 800. So again, it's slightly cheaper. I guess the disadvantage would be that you need to get the stable text, but since you need the front line, you will most likely have some food gatherers. So yeah, it's just an side investment, but yes, it is still investment. But the question is, do you want to wait for your fortresses till they are built up, till you gather all those resources needed to build one, and then spend like all the village of work time on building the fortresses? So that's the question. If you ask me, I would say chariot archers are a better option than elephant archers. Available sooner, cheaper to get into, and definitely faster to get into. Like stables take 50 seconds, 250 wood. So like 3 stables for the price of 1 fortress. I think that's a lot better deal for me than going for elephant archers. So yeah, if we include the wood cost, I think it's better investment to just go chariot or catapults. The only advantage I would give elephant archers over chariots, because of the splash, they can destroy walls faster, but that's about it that I can think of. So if you ask me, I think the change is bad, because the way I see elephant archers work best is if you go them as a main unit, and as I said, they tend to miss a lot of shots early until the enemy units stand. So you need to make the enemy units stand. That means they need to reach your own units and start fighting them. So you would already sacrifice some HP of your own units just to make the enemy units stand in place so the elephant archers can hit them. So I was, and you can find my video about this, Invasion of Rome with Egyptians, when I was actually doing it with elephant archers with the food cost. The way I think elephant archers are working the best is that you make them into more like a unit that can take some amount of damage while still being able to do some damage. So I would say they are better played the way you would play, let's say, Celtic champions, like a mixture of health and damage. Or I should say survivability, so like health, armor, bonus damage protection, and then some damage, like could be some range. I would say the damage, ignore armor from the piercing frost. I think that would be the best way to play the elephant archers overall, and instead of just making them into like this backline with a lot of range, a lot of damage. I don't think it works best for the elephant archers. And so I feel like it works better this way, mixture of like, okay, shorter range, but like good health, some armor maybe, some good damage. Not the highest, but they can do the damage because they are ranged units. I think it works the best way. But for this, I feel like wood economy is not going to be great for you because, first of all, you need to gather the wood from the trees. And as we all know, trees are limited source of wood. So once you start cutting down the trees, the wood line will get further and further away from the storehouse. So you need to pay attention to your wood line and keep rebuilding the storehouses so the efficiency of wood gathering stays as high as possible. And as we all know, that's somewhat annoying to pay attention to. So what I would say is going to happen most likely is that you just delete the wood line and instead you just make a lot of caravans. And here we go again, we're going for the caravan meta. And this is one thing I hate about this. I feel like it's just gonna help the caravan meta. Because guess what? Caravans are very effective at generating gold. And once they generate a good amount of gold, you can just buy the wood. And it's been very good rate, like buying the wood is very efficient with all the gold you generate. So, and guess what? You still need the gold for elephant archers, so you will definitely have markets for that. So yeah, in short, elephant archers. I think there are better options. Either it's gonna be catapult for its crush damage, for its splash, or chariot archers for being cheaper alternative, faster to get into, as well as more reliable damage source. I think these two options, both of these, are much better option than going for elephant archers. And because of the food change, which made them unique, made them like the way, as I said, that I think they work the best, I feel like they lost this option to play them. And so I feel like they lost like a good way you could play the elephant archers in the game as a whole, because as a backline, I don't think they work that well overall in comparison to these two other units. So I feel like I lost this option because I don't want to go into like full caravans economy and just buy the wood again, because let's be honest, it feels like it feels silly, to be honest, that you can just manage your economy just because you have a good amount of caravans and you just buy everything. I just feel like it's not good for the game overall, and so I still keep prefer going for the farm. So well, it's easier not to pay attention to the food and just buy it just by spamming one single button. To be honest, although I keep doing it sometimes, but it's not that bad. Usually it's like with immortals because yes, again, it's the wood. Yeah, I hate caravan meta. That's what I'm gonna say, and I feel like this change just supports the caravan meta again, because wood is always gonna be limited. And remember, they will cost 225 wood. That's a lot of wood for one single unit. If I had to like keep losing them, I would be in the situation of like the battering ram situation. If I keep losing the battering rams, it's just not gonna be worth it producing them, because I will have to keep buying the wood. And I mean, this siege tower is like what, 200 wood. I think it's the same in PvE now. Can you imagine? You keep losing the siege towers and keep buying the wood so you can afford it. And 1,000 wood is like 5 of these. So same here, like 5 elephant archers. I need to buy 1,000 wood. Yeah, in my opinion, it's not a good change. I think it would be still better to have the farm economy, because at least I feel like there is something unique about the elephant archers and there is a unique way to play them. But now I think it's lost. And I think it's not gonna work really well for the elephant archers, if you ask me. But that's my opinion. Tell me in the comments, what do you think? Like, I think that overall the change here is just gonna be the extra movement speed. But if I get like the wood cost now, I just feel like I don't know. I feel like it's terrible change for the elephant archers. I feel like it's going against the unit. That's my opinion. But tell me, what do you think? Because it might be one silly opinion. Maybe I'm too. Yeah. Maybe I'm not seeing the thing. But who knows? And if you ask me, movement speed is nice, but elephant archers are definitely not the best units to micro, because. And that's another thing of them. Why do they fire multiple projectiles? Because if they fire only one and you move them, the 2 projectiles are wasted, and so they do not do full damage. Again, I just feel like even for microing the unit, it's not worth using it. So there's that. And I'll be honest, actually it works for... Why does it work for triremes? I mean, that's because enemy ships fire so slow. I guess that would be why. But for alpha archers, that's harder because they fight melee units, and you cannot. Yeah, I guess that would be the issue, because you're fighting the melee units, so you cannot really effectively micro them. That would be the issue. I guess that would be it. Yeah. Well, tell me what you think about this change, because it might be one silly opinion, but I'll stand behind it. Okay, moving on. We have still some number of changes. So quest updates. All champion mode quests adjusted the treasure guardian stats so they don't have as much health and damage as legendary quest. That was one issue that was somewhat annoying, because I don't know how do you feel about it, but fighting with basically naked units against level 40 legendary treasure guardians, that's a suicide. Ooh, and don't want to think about it when it's summer event with the elephant archers and armored elephants there as well. Oh my god, bad time to play champion mode. So now hopefully it's better for us to take the camps. Added Sparta point rewards to all quests. 5-star quests 40 Sparta points, 4-star 35, 3-star 30, 2-star 25, 1-star 20 minigames quests 1 Sparta points, since the quests are infinitely repeatable with no cooldowns. So yeah, you wanted those Sparta vanity, you know, the Hades, Gallic, and the others. Here's your chance to get the Sparta points and get that vanity. I think that this is a nice change since, I mean, let's be honest. What's your reason to play champion mode quests these days? Except of like no need for gear, but at the same time, it's not using the same tech trees as in PvE. So I feel like what would be your reason to even play champion mode quests these days? Because legendary quests offer better rewards because of the chest, if I'm not mistaken. That in champion mode you still are using the Celeste legendary, whereas in legendary you are using the star rated chest. So I keep wondering what would be the reason to play champion mode overall. I guess Sparta points now give some good reason. Maybe I should continue with my campaign. Oh boy. Maybe in the future, who knows. But yeah, I think this is a nice change, and it's definitely a good way for PvE players to get the Sparta vanity now. So I'm not against it. Champion Invasion of Rome. Increase the timer to 30 minutes from 25. I don't know what the timer there is. Is it for capturing? Maybe it is. I don't remember. I don't think I even checked it. So I don't know what it is for. Okay, but now we have this group. I'm just gonna make it all together, okay? Change the starting age to age 2 from age 1, added additional starting buildings. This is Lavrion. Megara made some difficulty adjustments. Corinth delayed the initial enemy attacks. Calydon delayed the initial enemy attacks. Term made some adjustments to the quest map to make it more accessible to ships, made adjustments to the enemy sea patrols. Aegeon made minor adjustments. Okay, so yeah, all these quests from the Athens, the Socrates quest pack. So Lavrion, first of all, I don't understand why, because I feel like those quests already were easy enough. Like, sure, not like necessarily, hey, new player comes in, maybe it will beat it so easily. I don't think that would be the case, but still, they were very easy quests, or most of them, I should say. So like Lavrion, in this case, it's the one with the, you know, the triremes that spawns the somatophile attacking you early. That would be it. And I felt like that was actually a good quest, because it was like easy quest, but at the same time, for new player, it might be surprising or a little bit challenging. But seriously, not like one of the hardest quests I would think about. And now it's like getting changed to start in H2, and also you get the starting buildings, extra starting buildings. I think it's like barracks and all the basic stuff, you know. I just don't think Lavrion really needed this, to be honest. Like I feel like I look at Lavrion and I felt like it was a nice quest. I think it was nice to start in H1, and so you have like the rough start. You need to start producing few villagers, put them on the huntables, put them on the trees, maybe some gold. But like, it did not. I don't know. I just feel like it did not really need a change. So I do not understand why this change even happened. I feel like that should be focused on something else than like Lavrion. I don't know what adjustments happened to Megara, to be honest. I have no idea. Corinth. Which one is Corinth? Corinth, I think, is the one with no caravans, and like and you have the river which you use for merchant transports, and it's like the snake of bases. I think it's that one. I think that's one. Delay the initial enemy attacks. I'll be honest, they were coming like not too early, but also not too late. But I felt like they came at the right time. I don't know why. I just feel like, I don't know why. Like, I feel like this is one of those easier quests. I don't know why we should make it even easier, to be honest. I just don't understand. Why are we making quests even easier than they already are? I just hate it. Like, why are we making the game too easy? Like, is it for new players? Man, we already had like Zabol, and then we got this Socrates quest pack, which was not really like super hard. It was like the right difficulty. Are we making this into why are we even making this? I just don't understand the thinking process here. Why? Like, I just don't understand. Okay, visiting Term made some adjustments to the quest map to make it more accessible to ships. Made adjustments to the enemy sea patrols. I don't know what exactly was done to the accessibility to ships. I honestly have no idea what would that mean. Should it be like accessible like by navy, that you can destroy the island bases? I think someone said this in Discord, that's why I'm thinking about it. I'm trying to remember what Term looks like, because I haven't played it for too long. Because there's the one land base, I remember, on the same island you are. And then there's like, I think 2 island bases, and then one at the top corner, which was like accessible by navy, but only by this narrow river, which, let's be honest, that was always full of navy. I don't know. Hopefully it's not bad. Okay. And iGale made minor adjustments. That's such a vague description what happened here. I have no idea what happened here. Okay. I don't know. Okay, moving on. First Blood and its other variants made some difficulty adjustments. I actually got the First Blood recorded, and I need to make it public. God damn it. Yeah, you can look forward to First Blood soon. I already got it recorded, so it will be the older version. So be wary of that. So I don't know what happened there. We'll see. Yeah, you can look forward to First Blood. Okay, turn the page and its other variants. Priests are no longer part of the optional objective restrictions. It takes a pillage. And its other variants, priests are no longer part of the optional objective restrictions. There's one more missing, and that's the Unforgiven. That should be here as well. And it's not, because I checked it. And these 3, those are I already uploaded those. You can already watch them. This is the no infantry, or only infantry. This is the only ranged. The Unforgiven is the only cavalry one. What I think this does, it's mainly for Egyptians, so they can produce the priestesses of Ra. Then you have the Celts for the druids, and the ogres mainly for the rites. So it would be for them, although you can still produce your priests for healing, whatever, although I don't think it's really that needed. So, I mean, they did not really need priests there, to be honest. I feel like for those cips, you don't really need those priests overall. So I feel like this is just specifically for Egyptians, making it easier for Celts. Well, if you want to spend time getting the ogre, sure. But I feel like, who cares? Okay, now here. Recapturing Solo. Increase the quest cooldown to 6 days from 12 hours. Rewards adjusted. I know I'm losing you. Increase the quest cooldown to 6 days from 12 hours. Rewards adjusted. Recapturing Paphos. Increase the quest cooldown to 3 days from 12 hours. Rewards adjusted. Breaking Bandits. Increase the quest cooldown to 3 days from 12 hours. Rewards adjusted. Rescue Me. Increase the quest cooldown to 3 days from 12 hours. Rewards adjusted. Tamiya Triple Time. Increase the quest cooldown to 3 days from 12 hours. Rewards adjusted. So yeah, these are the good old classic quests, you know, from Marion, from Arcus. Those old quests, and those up to this point had the 12-hour cooldowns, and so their rewards were not really that huge. So if you ask me, recapturing Soloi, cooldown 6 days. I think this is fine, because Soloi is one of those quests I would not really recommend playing that often. But at the same time, if you play it, you're not really getting that many rewards. So I think this is a nice change, and if you play it once, twice, hey, you're getting some good amount of rewards. So I think this is fine change. I Know I'm Losing You is the co-op only one from Argus. And you can watch me actually soloing that quest, although Don't do it, please. Yeah, I still feel like this should go on solo or co-op available, not co-op only. So I still want to see it, like, I mean, it's possible to do it solo, but at the same time, it's very challenging to do it solo. That's how I would describe it. So preferably, yes, you want to do this co-op. But I think it would be nice if it was co-op allowed, because why not? But then you would also have to make the quest line, getting to this quest, make co-op available as well. So it would be quite a few quests. But yeah, it is hard quest because there's a lot of units. For solo player, definitely hard. For co-op, I think it's manageable. I think this is nice change, to be honest. Pubfos, I mean 3 days Pubfos. Pubfos is not that bad. I feel like it should have stayed at 12 hours because it's not that hard. Making it a little bit more available to new players, you know, you're fresh, level 40, you want to play some quests. I know we have like 7 civs, but before you get all those civs there, it takes time. Maybe you just want to enjoy the one civ. So I feel like the Pubfos, I mean, we still have few quests with 12 hours. So I guess, I feel like it would be better still at 12 hours. I think Pubfos was fine, but okay. Breaking Bandits, that's the no stone one from Argos. So I think 3 days for this one is fine. I wouldn't mind going for 6 days as well. Just a reminder, there's still the challenge going on from Destroyer Archer. So if you want to still participate, it's still possible. Just a reminder. Okay, Legendary Rescue Me. This is the one I dislike. It's the from the, you know, the refugee. And this one I dislike because of the randomness of the quest where you spawn where the enemy bases are spawned. I don't like it because of that, so I feel like 3 days for that one, yeah, fine. It can be fast quest, but at the same time, I just hate the randomness. And Tamiya Triple Time, I feel like this could have been 12 hours, like, for the easier naval quest. I feel like this could have stayed at 12 hours as well, just like Pubfos. I'll be honest, yeah, I think it should have stayed. Okay, last one here. Elite, the Fools on the Hill. It's more Fools on the Hill, I should say. Made some difficulty adjustments. I had a quick look at that, and I don't know what was exactly done there, but the way I would describe it is, I think the enemy legionaries have slightly different gear, maybe. I think they used to have something else, maybe I misremember that. But it felt like the waves are not spawning that fast, which definitely felt nice because but I still feel like, yeah, the way I would describe it, playing this quest on Elite before was a nightmare. Unless you had like very specific gear on your Centurions, I felt like it's impossible to play the quest, and I just felt like that was a bad quest design overall, because you're forcing the player to use some very specific kind of gear, otherwise it's impossible to play that quest. If you haven't tried it before, you wouldn't know. That's how I would say it. But now, yeah, the waves are not spawning that fast, so you have some time to get your Centurions, get some reinforcements where you need them. So if you ask me now, it feels definitely easier. It should be definitely more approachable. I haven't played the whole quest, so I don't know if there was something else done, but it should be easier now. That's how I see it for now. Okay, moving on. UI updates. Grants larger area damage. Text change to +1 damage area for better consistency and clarity. Affects Persian War Wagon Champion and Babylonian Siege Tower Champion. Yeah, basically that was like the text, you know, the champion upgrade grants larger area. How much larger? Basically, this number now tells you, hey, +1. That's all there is to it. Updated some description text regarding Sparta points, Empire points, and Crete points for better clarity and consistency. I haven't seen that. Honestly, I don't care. I don't really read them. I know where I need to spend them. That's all I need to know. Updated the champion mode minigames in Zabo, so their description mentions that the quests are played in champion mode. That's a good thing. People should know that. Bug fixes. Fixed an issue where the co-op player would not spawn with a Temple of Ra if they were playing as the Egyptians in the quest Legendary Recapturing Sardis. Or Sardes, if you prefer the old name. Okay, not a good thing. That's a good thing they fixed that. Fixed an issue where some civilizations could build 5 town centers instead of the intended 4 in the quest Champion Invasion of Rome. Hey, extra free population in Invasion of Rome. I would not complain. Who complained? I would not. Nah, it's good that they fixed that, but I think there were already some reports of like, hey, you cannot build extra TC as I think I saw something like, I don't know if it's related to it, but yeah, hopefully this is fixed. Hopefully no problem there. Fix an issue where the quest Elite Wherever I May Roam displayed incorrect description text. Wherever I May Roam is it one of those Londinium quests? I think that's one of those. Okay. Fixed an issue where Ptah's Scepter of Construction showed an incorrect in-game model. Okay. Fixed an issue where several Well of Earth quests had incorrect gear sets for the AI. Okay. I don't know which ones are we talking about. Maybe the Hideout. I know Hideout is the only one that has like epic gear there, but that's like the only thing that comes to my mind right now. Fixed several text description errors in some Sparta quests. Okay, good. Other updates. High Vizier's rope item level range changed to 35 to 40 from 25 to 29. This does not change the item's maximum stats and it does not affect existing instances of the item. Only chests opened after this patch have the chance of dropping this item, and the level 25 to 29 version of the item will not drop anymore. So if you have the old versions, hey, it's a museum piece now. Very valuable, since you cannot get it anymore. So basically, if you have seen the drop rate for Divine High Vizier, it's very low. Now, I don't remember when was the last time I dropped the Divine High Vizier, but the drop rate for that is very low. It is very, very low, because I haven't seen it since the rework of the chest, I think. So, to compensate for this, we still had the High Vizier's rope. However, it was available 25 to 29. So the best thing you could get was 25, because from Moe. So the level 29, you would have to play like Skirmish, maybe Creed. I don't know. I think Creed could be possible as well, but I don't remember what level of chests are dropping there. But yes, basically the level 25. So this gives you the way to get the weaker version at level 40 before you get the legendary version, which is not really dropping that often. And basically it should be the same values of stats. So good thing. I think this is a nice change, because the Divine High Vizier is not really dropping. I still wish it was dropping a little bit more, but I mean, this is better, because the difference is not that huge. So I think you will be fine with the level 40 of the epic version. Should be fine. So definitely good change. Several early generation Celeste legendary gear have had their names changed for better consistency and flavor. Blessed Dionysus' throwing arm to Siege Arm of Amethyst. Divine Heavy Cedar beams, beams of Vitruvius, Divine High Vizier's ropes, Vishkanya silk lined ropes. Basically, yeah, it was lazy naming, because we already have Blast throwing arm, and then there was the Blast Dionysus throwing arm. This one is the one you put on Palintonods because of the maximum range. There's line of sight there as well. Basically, lazy naming, that's how I would describe it. And I would say it would be like making things complicated, because you could be talking about the Blast throwing arm, and then there's the Blast Dionysus throwing arm, and like, oh my god, what's this naming? So if you ask me, this is a good change for the names. Divine Heavy Cedar beams, the same thing. This, if I remember, is the health, damage, and increased cost. You know, like Master Assassins for siege units. So yeah, that's Beams of Vitruvius now. And Divine High Vizier's Ropes, we know that, that's the full damage cloth armor. So now it's Vishkanya's Silk Line Tropes from now on. So yeah, I think these are fine. These are fine. Although I still feel like, hey, there is Divine Hammer of Construction. That could be renamed as well. Because we have there is, I think it's Blessed Hammer of Construction, if I remember. Or something like that. So yeah, I think these are fine changes. These are good changes. Bug fix is always good. These are pretty good changes. Here, some I would say yes, some I would say eh. I feel like this is like, I just don't understand why. I don't know. These are nice changes if you ask me. Definitely good. And this, I said what I think. So tell me what do you think about these changes in the comment section. There's definitely some good amount of changes. I definitely want to know your opinion about the Elephant Archers, because that's definitely the most important change here. So yeah, please leave a comment. If you enjoyed this, please press the like button. If you want to see more, subscribe to the channel. And yeah, look forward to the First Blood Legendary Quest. Yeah, I think that's gonna be the next one. And I need to record the last two as well. And maybe something else. Okay, thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye.